नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रों। We are studying about chemical bonding, in specifically types of bond. In our last class we discussed ionic bond and covalent bond, and we also have been discussed two types of covalent bond, that is polar covalent bond and non-polar covalent bond. So today's lecture we are going to start another bond, that is coordination bond. But before starting coordination bond, first we should understand, or we have to understand how ionic and covalent bond will form. What are the criteria and what are the different sign, and based on that how we can decide this specifically atom will form covalent bond and this type of atom will form ionic bond, or in which condition ionic bond will form, or in which condition covalent bond is formed. Then we can get more clarity about the ionic and covalent bond, right? So that is why it is necessary to understand how we can differentiate and in which condition and what kind of different condition ionic and covalent bond will form. So let us discuss the differentiation or distinctions between ionic and covalent bond. We are discussing based on different point. So that is first point, the factor is ionization energy. So based on ionization energy, we can say that, or we can identify either covalent bond will form or ionic bond will form. As we discuss when we learn ionic bond majorly form between metal and non-metal. We already discussed, right? Now you see here, when ionic bond is formed at that time, one atom or low ionization or no tendency to lose electron easily, right? If the element will lose electron easily, ionization value will be very low as compared to non-metal and semi-metal, right? So if I say ionic bond is formed between metal and non-metal, then what we can say one element and another element have high ionization energy. So in this case, ionic bond will be formed, while in the case of covalent bond, what we can say, as we discuss, covalent bond is majorly formed between two non-metal and metal plus semi-metal. So that is why both atom or both element have a high ionization energy. So in this case, specifically covalent bond is formed. So based on term of ionization energy, we can also decide whether it ionic bond will form or covalent bond is formed, or either covalent bond is formed or ionic bond is formed. See, the lower value of ionization potential. Ionization potential is nothing but ionization energy, right? Both are similar. That means we can say ionization energy as well as ionic potential of the element. The highest is probability of cation formation. Likewise, higher ionization potential value lead anion formation. As we already discussed, low ionization energy means if atom have a low ionization energy, then it is a tendency to convert its cation. And if element have a high ionic potential, then element have a tendency to gain the electron, or after gaining electron, it will convert it into anion. And hence, if the difference of ionization potential between two atoms is more, the ionic compound is formed. So how we can understand? Just if we understand one example, then we can get more clarity. We can differentiate. Suppose I will take one example, formation of NaCl, right? So in this case, sodium as a metal or sodium metal, and chlorine is non-metal. Here sodium have more tendency to become cation, so that is why ionization energy of sodium is very low. So we can say ionization is in this case of non-metal, the ionization energy will be high. Right? If one metal have a low ionization energy and another element have a high ionization energy, so in this case more difference of matlab if we consider the difference between ionization energy, the more difference of ionization energy will show. So in this case, ionic bond is formed. So here first point is trying to say is that if one atom have a high energy, high ionic potential, another element have a more ionic potential, so the difference between two element or the difference of ionization energy will be high. So in this case, ionic bond is formed. While in the case of covalent bond, this things is only reverse. We can say that in covalent bond, both elements have a almost similar energy, ionization energy. Much difference between ionization and so in this case, covalent bond is formed. Now we discuss first point. Let us come to the second point, electron affinity. So first of all, at least we should understand what is electron affinity, right? And what is ionization energy? We already discussed in our previous class. Ionization energy is nothing but the energy required to remove electron from atom and its isolated gaseous state. That means atoms होता है, इसमें से अपन लोगों को उसका गैसियस स्टेट में से इलेक्ट्रॉन रिमूव करने के लिए जो एनर्जी की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, that energy we can call ionization energy. The amount of energy will require to remove electron from its isolated gaseous state is known as ionization energy, right? Now, what is electron affinity? Electron affinity is nothing but the energy is released when electron is added in their valence shell in isolated gaseous state. Again, जब भी कभी हम लोग इलेक्ट्रॉन ऐड करते हैं कोई भी एलिमेंट्स के अंदर, when we added electron, so at that time energy will be released. So the energy is released is nothing but electron affinity or the tendency to accept the electron. The tendency to accept the electron is nothing but electron affinity. I hope you will get some clarity about electron affinity because uh, it may also possible you also hear the word first time. Now in which condition ionic bond is formed? The atom with very low electron affinity for to form ionic bond with atom of higher electronegativity. As we already discussed, ionic bond is formed between metal and non-metal. Now metal have a tendency to lose electron, but if we added electron, that is not easily accept. So in this case, metal have a low electron affinity, while in the case of non-metal have a high electron affinity. So that is why in this case, if one element have a low electron affinity and another element have a high electron affinity, so in this case ionic bond will form. So you can see here one element have a low electron affinity and one atom have a higher electron affinity. So in this case ionic bond will form, while in the case of covalent bond you can see here both element have a high electron negativity, a high electron affinity. The formation of the covalent bond is favored when the combining atom have a almost equal electron affinity. That means the electron affinity uh, difference in between two element is almost equal. So in this case covalent bond is formed. Now if we consider third point, that is very important because we discussed uh, earlier 2 point, that is ionic energy and electron affinity, that is based on energy term, but also we can discuss based on tendency to attract the electron. So first of all, how we can understand electronegativity term, and based on that how a covalent or ionic bond will form. Now in which condition ionic bond will form? Specifically in the case of ionic bond, one element have a low electron negativity and another element have a high electron negativity, as we discussed when we learned ionic bond in our previous class, right? One element have a low electron negativity and that is metal, and one element have a high electron negativity, because if the element have a high electron negativity then it can easily attract or gain the electron. So in this case ionic bond will form. When ionic bond is formed, how we can say based on electron negativity? One element have a low electron negativity and another element have a high electron negativity. So in this case ionic bond will form. See, the greater is the difference in electronegativity between two combining atoms, the greater are character transfer to electron from one atom to another, and hence greater electronegativity difference between two combining atoms lead to formation of ionic bond, as we discussed. Because if one element have a highly nature or high electron negativity, then it can easily attract the electron or gain the electron. I cannot say attract, but it can gain electron from another element or other element easily. In this case, finally, it will lead to formation of ionic bond. While in the case of covalent bond, the difference between electron negativity is very low. The difference in electron negativity will be low. So in this case covalent bond is formed. When the difference between negativity between two atom or two element is low, then covalent bond is formed. Here I cannot say almost zero, but at least difference will be low. Then it leads to the formation of covalent bond, right? Now based on fourth point, metallic and non-metallic character, as we discuss, In ionic bond, we already discussed in our first class, whenever ionic bond is formed, mainly we discuss, just can remind and we will go to next point. Suppose chemical bond is formed. When chemical bond is formed, at that time it is also possible the bond is formed between metal and non-metal plus non-metal. In this case, if the bond is formed between metal and non-metal, then ionic bond will form. While in the case of the bond is formed between two non-metal, or in second condition metal plus metallurgy or semi-metal. So in this case, covalent bond is formed. So based on that, what we can say, when ionic bond is formed, at that time one element have a metallic character and another element should be non-metal. Then ionic bond will form. In the case of formation of covalent bond, in this case, both the element have a high non-metal or non-metallic character. Or we can also say covalent bond is formed when one element have a non-metal and another have a semi-metal. So in this case, also covalent bond will form. So we can see here, whenever ionic bond is formed, so at that time one element have a metallic character and another have a non-metal. So in this case ionic bond is formed. While in the case of covalent bond, here both the atom are non-metallic, then the difference in ionic potential or electron affinity or electronegativity is very less, and it's leads to the formation of covalent bond. Whatever we discussed in our earlier points, it is also we can understand only we can say metallic and non-metallic character. How? Because you already know, or sometimes we discuss during our lecture as well. Metal have a character which have a low ionization energy, low electron affinity and low electronegativity. If I say metal, so metal have all the three characteristics, right? So based on that, we can understand formation of ionic bond. Similarly, whatever we discuss in covalent bond, or we can what we discuss for non-metal, so non-metal have all three characteristics. Non-metal have a high electron and ionization energy, also have a high electron affinity, also have a high electronegativity. So these are all the characteristic of non-metal, right? So based on metal and non-metallic character, we can understand ionic bond and covalent bond, or how ionic and covalent bond will form, right? So this all the point we can understand with the help of one point. Now next point, that is physical state. Generally physical state, as we already know, most of the metal have in solid state. That means most of the metal exists in solid state. While in the case of non-metal and metallurgy, that is liquid and gaseous. So we can say ionic bond is formed at that time one element or metal have metal have in solid state, while in the case of non-metal, that is liquid or gas, and at that time the high electrostatic interaction will be shown. So that is why ionic bond is formed. Also, when ionic bond is formed, at that time compound will exist in solid state, and which is also confirmed by X-ray studies. The formation of solid substance, which is confirmed by XRD. Also say that X-ray diffraction study. So based on that, what is the exact structure of solid we can decide, or what is the exact pattern of the solid we can decide, or we can find with the help of X-ray studies. While in the case of covalent bond, we also decide in we also classify covalent bond into two parts. One is polar and another is called non-polar. While in the case of polar compound, so polar compound is mainly in polar compound in mainly generally physical state is either liquid or gas. So the interaction between solid and liquid will be less as compared to ionic compound, but it will form the bond, and this type of covalent bond is known as polar covalent bond. While in the case of non-polar compound, mainly non-polar compound is formed between two gaseous molecules, generally sometimes liquid as well, but mainly it formed between two non-polar, but non-polar have a non-polar having have a gaseous state, right? So we can say in non-polar bond, the interaction between two molecules will be less as compared to polar as well. Why? Because there is no much difference between electronegativity of molecule or element. So that is why the interaction is not enough and electrostatic interaction will be low. Now finally, last point, melting and boiling point. So melting and boiling point is nothing but if I say when solid is converted into liquid, solid converted into liquid at specific temperature. So that is why we can call them its melting point. While in the case of liquid converted into gas at specific temperature is nothing but its boiling point, right? How melting point and boiling point will uh, more or less, how we can decide? So based on stability of molecule, how we can define stability? So based on electrostatic interaction or highly packed based on packaging or density, sometimes we can also decide, or generally we can decide the arrangement of molecule or how it pack very closely. That means if the molecule is packed closely, then uh, if we convert solid state into liquid state, at that time the energy will require very high. So in this case we can say the compound the melting point and boiling point will be high. So in the case of ionic compound, melting point and boiling point will be high because the interaction between two molecules is very, very high. So that is why high melting point in boiling point and melting point in ionic compound. While in the case of polar and non-polar, polar and non-polar have also melting point and boiling point, but it is lowest compared to ionic bond. But if we want to compare in between polar and non-polar, so how we can differentiate? We can differentiate based on interaction. In polar molecule have more electrostatic interaction, or specifically more electrostatic interaction or force of attraction as compared to non-polar. So that is why polar compound have a high melting and boiling point as compared to non-polar. But in the case of non-polar substance, non-polar substance have a weak interaction in between weak interaction, so we can uh, crack easily, right? So that is why specifically in non-polar compound have a low melting point and boiling point. So this is the differentiate, or whatever we can say, it is a differentiation between ionic and covalent bond, or we can say factor, which factor is responsible to forming ionic and covalent bond. So I hope you can get some clarity the differentiation between, or how ionic and covalent bond form in different conditions. So with this we will end the covalent bond and ionic bond. So now we are starting another primary bond is known as coordination bond, right? See, first at least we should understand first to this bond, that is very important, and you will also learn in your higher standard as well, because similar concept is also you will study in your higher standard, not only 9th class but also in 10th, 11th and remaining higher education as well. So this is the basic things, because as we know that in chemistry we deals with the molecule, atom, ion or molecule, and its application and its physical and chemical property. So if you understand the molecule, then this is the first or primary preliminary thing. If we understand the bond, then we can understand easily gradually different type of molecule and its nature, right? So let us start third chemical bond, that is coordination bond. And again, one last point we miss about the solubility. So the solubility of ionic compound in water is very high, because in chemistry one concept we can use generally, like dissolve like. That means polar compound dissolve in polar solvent, while in the case of non-polar compound will dissolve in non-polar solvent. If we talk about specifically in covalent bond and in polar covalent bond, so the solubility of polar compound or polar covalent bond in water is high as compared to non-polar, because water have a polar solvent. So that is why polar compound is soluble in polar solvent. Remaining, if we talk about the density, then the density of ionic compound, specifically if we consider in ionic compound the molecule or ion will be high, so that is why density of ionic compound is very high. Density, how we can define, as we already know, density is equal to mass by volume. If the ion will be high, then per volume, if we consider in ionic compound per volume, the mass of molecule will be high. If the mass of molecule will be high, then density will be high. While in the case of covalent or polar covalent and non-polar covalent, so the density of polar and non-polar compound will be less, because in specifically if we consider polar covalent compound and non-polar covalent compound, so in this case specifically physical state is liquid and gas, as we already discussed. Liquid have a liquid substance, or in liquid state the interaction between molecule, atom or ion will less as compared to solid. So that is why it exists in a liquid state. If per volume, if per volume molecule, atom or ion is less, then density will be less. If we consider electrical conductivity, if we consider electrical conductivity in ionic compound, we discuss ionic compound is exist in solid, but in solid state it not conduct the electricity. In molten state or its aqueous state it conduct the electricity. How we can define? Suppose if we take NaCl, So any cell exists in solid state. So in solid state, it not conduct the electricity. But what we can do, if we liquefy means if we melted means it will converted solid into liquid state. It is known as its molten state without adding any solvent. But if we add solvent, then it will convert it into aqueous NaCl solution. So in both the case, electrical conductivity will be show. Why? Because in this case, ion will be generally for conduct the electricity. There is a many criteria. If it is also shows conductivity because of free electron, it is also shows because of free ions. So here, if ion is shows, ion is liberated, so which is responsible to conduct the electricity. While in the case of polar compound also shows electrical conductivity in aqueous medium, because polar compound will generally form ion in aqueous medium. While in the case of non-polar compound do not ionize. Ionize means it will not shows ion in aqueous medium. So that is why it not shows electrical conductivity. So this is how we can differentiate between polar and non-polar compound. Though this all are the example, you can solve yourself as well. Now remaining bond is known as coordination bond. So first of all, how is the difference from ionic and covalent bond? Let us take one example and then we will understand coordination bond. In coordination, so how coordination bond is formed? When one element have a lone pair or electron density is excess and another element have a deficiency of electron. So in this case, one element is completely transfer electron from one atom to another. If I say atom means atom is also present in molecule, but in molecule one atom will transfer completely electron from another atom, right, one to another atom. So one atom will become electron donor. That means one atom we can say it will become donor and another element will become acceptor. Donor atom have a high electron density or at least should have one lone pair or negative charge. While in the case of acceptor, atom B or atom have electronic deficient. Atom will be electronically deficient. So in this case, coordination bond is formed. But we can also say that it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. That means arrow, the coordination bond is generally represented by arrow. So how arrow will we can draw? If those atom will donate the pair to another atom, so arrow will be always donor to acceptor. You can see this is the donor atom A and atom B will be acceptor. So in this case coordination bond is formed. So this bond is known as coordination bond. right? And this is how coordination bond is formed. So how we can say the coordination bond is formed? See, you can see in this example. Here you can see the formation of ammonium ion. Here when reaction we react ammonia with H plus ion. So here ammonia have a one lone pair. You can see, right? So in this case, here nitrogen atom will donate a lone pair to another atom and to form coordination bond. And how coordination bond form? You can see here it will form like this. Or and the positive charge will come in whole molecule. So you can see here the coordination bond will form between nitrogen and hydrogen atom, because here nitrogen have at least one lone pair and here hydrogen have a electron deficiency. So that is why here nitrogen is donate lone pair to hydrogen atom. You can see clearly in this case as well. Here something is missing, but here if we consider hydrogen atom plus H, right? If we reaction H2O plus H, so in this case also coordination bond is formed, because here nitrogen have a electron pair, and this is why oxygen will donate electron pair to hydrogen atom. So in this case also coordination bond will form, and we can also represent like this as well, because now it bond is formed. So at that time hydrogen will become H3 and O plus, and it is known as hydronium ion. So you can see here in this case coordination bond also formed. And we can also discuss in another example as well. Suppose if we consider here one molecule, that is ammonia, and BF3. So here boron have a electron deficiency and here nitrogen have a lone pair. So the ammonia will become donor, while in the case of BF3 here atom B will become acceptor, because boron have a electron deficiency. So that is why here nitrogen will donate electron pair to boron and it form coordination bond. Right, so this bond is known as coordination bond, and this is how coordination bond is formed. So why, how it is different from ionic and covalent? In ionic bond the complete transfer of electron will take place, while in the case of covalent bond the sharing of electron will take place, while in the case of coordination bond, in this bond one atom will donate lone pair, not single electron, lone pair donate to another and to form the bond between two atoms, and this bond is known as coordination bond. And this is how we can understand the coordination bond with the help of few example. Remaining more example you will learn in your higher standard as well. Now in our next lecture we also discuss remaining bond called metallic bond, hydrogen bond and van der Waals force of attraction. Okay, so up to now we discussed three bonds, that is ionic, covalent, and specifically in this lecture we discuss coordination bond. Now in our next lecture we discuss metallic bond as well as hydrogen and van der Waals force of attraction. Okay, thank you.